This is the Popular Apocrypha Podcast, episode 21, Romeo and Juliet, for April 9th, 2018.
Good morrow to you, sir, to all our popular peeps out thither. Welcome to the Popular Apocrypha Podcast, whither we improve fictional characters by adjusting their look, style, backstory, etc. We just recently looked at Captain Jack Sparrow, so if to be true thee would like to hark to that episode, or any others for that matter, thee can catcheth us on Stitcher, iTunes, Blueberry, and our website, papapoc.com. While thee art thither, wend ahead and drop us a review, if to be true thee would be so inclined. Thee can findeth us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Thou mayest refer to me as Riley, and I am joined the present day by Tyler of the Intelligent Reed clan and Logan of the Gentle-Hearted Smith family. How now goeth the present day, gentlemen?
First of all, it's not YouTube, it's the Tube.
The Tube? Actually,
it's a little informal. So that's the point.
Truth be told, that very rough reading was the handiwork of the Shakespeare translator on schmoop.com. And it almost, if I hadn't caught it, would have corrected YouTube to the Tube. Yeah, like you said.
The Tube, thou Tube.
The Tube. And read your last name corrected to Reedeth.
I love how it corrected look to hark.
Hark!
I don't even think that's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
For like every 2 seconds, like 2 seconds of that, you like straight up sounded like Scottish pirate, very very pirate and very very Scottish at the same time. Well, it was pretty great.
Thank you. Arguably, I mean, Shakespeare did some Scottish plays, so.
Did he do a pirate play?
I think The Tempest had some pirates in it.
Yeah.
People you could call pirates?
Question mark? I don't know.
So lots of Scottish stuff.
Yes.
Which is good.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, our episode today is not on Shakespeare specifically, but rather related to one of Shakespeare's works, but we'll get to that later. But for right now, let's go ahead and start with a little creative warm-up game. So, you guys know how it's been debated that Shakespeare didn't actually author his own works, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically the argument is that Shakespeare was a man of such humble origins that he couldn't have possibly had the insight, wit, and political understanding needed to write the plays he did. Therefore, they suggest he didn't actually write them. Although he most likely did, which is what all the scholars say. But what if we were his ghostwriters? So, I'm going to give each of you 2 themes from his various plays. There's a lot of themes, so I'm just going to kind of pick at random and give you each 2 themes. And then the type of play. So it either has to be a comedy, a tragedy, or a history. And you have to come up with a play concept on the fly that incorporates the 2 themes and works within the type of play you are given, so that the other 2 Shakespeares in the room would like you to write it for them and get them famous. Cool?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm nervous.
Don't be.
But I'm also ready.
My body is ready.
So
That's
who would
a
like to
Nintendo
go?
reference. You made a Nintendo reference.
Wait, that's a Nintendo reference?
Yeah, it's what Reggie Fils-Aimé, he's the president of Nintendo America, said when the Wii Fit was announced. He said, "My body is ready." I'm so proud of you.
knew?
You made a Nintendo
really?
reference.
I did not get that.
That's
from
where that
Nintendo.
meme came from.
I just make it really sexually.
Well, that's why it became a meme, because he said it at a big conference. He's like, my body is ready. Because it sounded like it came from an anime or something, my body is ready.
It's just super official.
Yeah.
Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Tyler, go first?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the theme of deception and revenge. And it needs to be a comedy.
Deception, revenge, comedy.
Do.
Okay, so we've got 2 main characters, Bert McFarkle and
That's a character.
Bert McFarkle.
and Leonard Nimoy. And their characters, not any appearance of being related to real persons living or dead is completely coincidental. Leonard Nimoy had killed Burke McFarkle's pet mountain lion because it was having an affair. The mountain lion was having an affair with Leonard Nimoy's wife. And the comedy, obviously, that's what that's.
Sure.
And the mountain lion came back from the dead to enact its revenge on Leonard Nimoy, and it killed its owner, Burt McFarkle, and took its body, like wolf in sheep's clothing style, and the entire time you don't understand why Leonard Nimoy is confused. You don't understand why he's confused, because it's obviously a mountain lion, and it only growls in response to everything that Leonard Nimoy says. And then it eventually ends up trying to kill him, but failing because it's undead, so it just passes through him, even though somehow it was able to kill its owner. 10 out of 10. Hollywood executives, you can find me on Twitter at unrequested.
This is more in the theme of it's like being written in the 1500s.
Yeah, but I'm now his ghostwriter, so Ghost wants to sell these rights to Hollywood. You're welcome, Shakespeare.
Humor. Very Shakespeare.
You're welcome, Shakespeare.
Okay.
You're welcome aboard.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
That's
positive for creativity.
3 popsicles out of 5 pickles. I'll take it.
I would give it trying to make I'm trying to make a Shakespeare reference, and I can't think of anything. 3 Tempests out of 5 Prosperos. I did it.
Logan, you ready?
Sure.
All right. So I'm giving you the themes of let's do corruption.
Okay.
Transformation, and it needs to be a history.
You can't use a mountain lion, because I already did that.
Why can't I use a mountain lion?
I already did it.
What? That doesn't...
Hold on, wait, what?
Nope.
Look at me, I am the captain now.
I am the mountain lion.
Was there a mountain lion in more than one of Shakespeare's plays? I don't think so.
Arguably, there's ghosts in a lot of his plays.
There are.
And magic.
Like, most of his plays.
Because that's why I
probably not
got
true.
Hamlet and Macbeth confused. Banquo was in which one?
Yeah.
Because they both have a ghost in major parts. Okay, so corruption, transformation as a history.
As a history.
Okay, so what are examples of Shakespeare's history? That's like King Lear?
Like King Lear, Julius Caesar, like it's events that happen but are dramatized and probably didn't happen that way.
Okay. Okay. So, ancient Babylonian government, right? We have Nebuchadnezzar, who it tells the biblical story of how he is out in the wild for 7 years, and there is a little bit of a comedic element because he makes friends while he's out there. They're very happy and live in a tree, and they're friends, and they talk Nebuchadnezzar out of being the tyrannical king that he is, and so Nebuchadnezzar it turns over a new leaf and then has to go back and face the government that he was a part of, and he realizes how corrupt it is and tries to change it, but realizes that it's a much bigger job than he thought, and has to enlist the help of his happy tree friends in order to overthrow the government. And it's a history because he was a king of Babylon. So there you go.
4.5 out of 5.
11 out of 12.
Yes.
That's pretty solid.
Wait. But can we go back? Can we not award points yet? We both have to assign a name to our place, right?
Oh.
Gotta have a name, right?
Okay, so what's the name of yours? Did you say
I
it?
didn't have an idea yet.
Well...
Mountain the Lion.
No.
I like it.
It's like Taming the Shrew.
That's what the play within the play is called.
Cougar Love, wolf in man's body.
Wolf in man's body.
You have nothing to hide. It's exactly what it is, advertised right there on the front.
So I think mine, since the history and since Shakespeare wasn't exactly the most creative with his histories, I think it should just be called King of Babylon.
Yeah.
Because it also raises the idea, was the king Nebuchadnezzar, or was the king the symbolic fact that it was evil running Babylon.
Right.
Oh, but when mine gets made into a live action movie, it's gonna be like a really sexy cover with like the like weirdly large nipples, because it's gonna be wolf in man's body. So it's gonna be like a man's body with like a wolf head popping out, but it's also a mountain lion.
So it's
at the same time.
It's Little Red
It's
Riding
like an animorph.
Don't ruin Animorphs. That was my favorite book series as a kid.
It's definitely gonna look like Animorphs.
Well, so all that's left is tragedy, but would you two each pick a theme?
I've got one. If you don't.
Well, we have two themes.
Right.
So, okay, I've got one.
Okay, go ahead.
Lust.
Okay.
Not unrelated. Enemies who fall in love. Like nemesis who fall in love.
It's not necessarily lust for other people. It could be lust for power, lust for money, whatever.
Very true.
Your interpretation, sir.
And it's a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would say that cue a medieval castle. This is the setting in which this play takes place. And there's a king, but the king isn't really ever given a name because he's just kind of a side character, a plot point by which the two main characters get furthered in their events. And the two main characters are the court jester and the advisor to the king, specifically like the economic advisor, right? And so basically, both of them lust for more power within the courtroom, the king's court. But one of them goes about it in like a funny way with the jester. Like his goal is to make a happier atmosphere in the court, and then like have people like him and have his influence by basically he's the funny guy, he's the one that everyone likes, and that's how he's going to gain power in the courtroom. And then the economic advisor, his like plan is to win power by gaining successes in the kingdom, so by advising the king in such a way that they gain successes. So he's a much more like logical thinker, and then the court jester is a much more feeling thinker. And the play basically is forwarded by their lust for power to gain control over the courtroom, but then while they are also striving for power, they are attracted to each other's like opposites. So it's basically like the opposites attract. So like I can't have what you have, but you have that, so I'm attracted to that. And then through the play they start to come closer together, and the enemies fall in love, and then they get to a point where they think we are powerful enough as a loving duo to not just seek power in the kingdom, but to overthrow the king. And they try to overthrow the king, and the tragedy is that they die in overthrowing the king. But it has to be some crazy twist where like the jester doesn't communicate his plan, and he dresses up as the king, and the economic advisor stabs the king, but it's actually the jester. And then the king sees
it's like
her or him stab the jester who's dead, and the king orders the commerce person's execution, and then the scene just it goes black.
I like it. Give it 7 tamings out of 8 shrews.
1 beef out of 10 cows.
You didn't like it, huh?
What?
You didn't like it?
Because they're all beef, so it's all.
Oh,
What?
1 beef equals 10 cows.
So yeah, I think that those were pretty good. I think Shakespeare would have liked to steal those if he did steal plays.
Right, what would you name yours?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Gotta name it something.
The jester and the advisor, in parentheses, unlikely roommates.
a jester in the king's court or something, or it'd be. I think it would be. Money Can't Buy You Happiness.
That would be good.
Okay.
That's a good title.
Yeah. There you go.
Sweet, nice guys.
You know, it's another tragedy that involves sort of nemesis that fall in love with one another and involves lust. I'm setting up for a real good transition here.
I thought, like,
yeah, except they're not nemesis.
But like their families are nemesis.
Okay.
I thought you were going for like.
It was real close.
I thought you were going like, is there an ad read that we don't know about that has something to do with that?
Logan and Riley. Just kidding.
See, I thought you were going for like us 3 somehow. I'm like, how are you going to work this in?
Also accurate.
So to be clear, none of us here are really Shakespeare experts. We've all kind of read a little bit of Shakespeare, and I've performed in a couple Shakespeare plays, but that's about it. So take everything we say today with a marginal grain of salt.
At what point did we ever expect our listeners to believe that we're experts in any of these characters?
Ooh.
Pokemon.
Okay, fair enough. That one episode.
Yeah. So today,
I wouldn't call myself a Pokemon expert.
just
I'm getting there, but
Pokemon.
not quite there.
Yep.
He wants to be the very best.
Yep.
The best that ever.
So, today we're looking at arguably two of Shakespeare's most famous characters and the star of the play by their same name, Romeo and Juliet. But first, a little background. Romeo and Juliet was written approximately 1594 to 1596 and popularized the character types of the star-crossed lovers. In Verona, Italy, the Montagues and the Capulets hate one another. Romeo and Juliet, members of different families, meet at a masked ball of the Capulets and fall instantly in love, almost awkwardly fast. The famous balcony scene then ensues, and the couple is soon married in secret by Friar Laurence. They might bang, they might not. It's creepy because Juliet is probably 13. Tybalt, a Capulet, is now mad at Romeo for showing up at the ball and getting friendly with Juliet. Tybalt confronts Romeo, who's chilling with his homie Mercutio. Romeo doesn't want to fight Tybalt because they're technically fam now. Mercutio is mad at Romeo because Romeo isn't mad. Mercutio fights Tybalt in Romeo's place. Tybalt murks Mercutio. Now Romeo, bound by honor, has to kill Tybalt, so he murks Tybalt. The Prince of Verona is soups fed up with these two families for not knocking it off with the fighting and killing, so he banishes Romeo to the Shadow Realm, otherwise known as Mantua. Juliet's dad misinterprets why Juliet is sad and decides the best way to cheer her up is to forcibly marry her to Count Paris. Juliet, understandably pissed, seeks Friar Laurence for help. He gives her some super NyQuil, tells her to play dead, and he will have Romeo rescue her after she is safely assumed to be very dead. Juliet, not passing up the opportunity to get a good night's sleep, agrees, and Friar Laurence decides to send his most directionally challenged intern to tell Romeo for the plan. Juliet then fakes her death. The intern does not reach Romeo. Romeo returns to Verona upon hearing his wife died. Romeo murks Count Paris, because why not? Romeo enters the tomb and drinks poison, because why not? And Juliet wakes up and stabs herself, because why not? And the families finally decide to communicate and get over it. This is a synopsis of the play. So, Romeo and Juliet arguably is one of the most polarizing plays in Shakespeare's repertoire, not necessarily because of the themes it deals with, but because literally everyone has probably read it or seen it in high school, and people either like it or hate it. So, friends, with that, where do we go from here?
I just have to say, while you were giving that quick synopsis, Logan was doing an amazing miming of every single line that you gave, and it was pretty great.
I kind of saw him out of the corner of my eye, but if I ever looked, I would have lost my place. Because the spacing on my little notes here, for some reason, is at like 0.5. It's a very small font. So, I applaud you, though.
I'm out of breath now.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stabbing.
Lots of stabbing.
There is a lot of, it's a surprising amount of death.
A lot of stabbing flesh with weapons.
And a lot of poor communication. Quite a bit of poor communication. Mm-hmm. Really. Mm-hmm. I mean, an absurd amount of poor communication.
I mean, it is a love story. Ba-dum-bum.
I mean, I personally kind of blame the friar because he was complicit in everything.
Yeah,
but
he kind of could have totally fixed some things.
No,
but
just...
No.
Maybe next week. How about next week?
And then he leaves on vacation for a long, long time. I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe we should start by maybe asking the question, why are people so sick of Romeo and Juliet, like, hearing it all the time? And I'm kind of wondering, is it possibly because of the theme, like, the star-crossed lovers, like, oh, that's so sappy, like, that's what's frustrating, or is it because it's just so overplayed, or is it because the fact that it's almost sickeningly dramatic at the very end? Like, no one stops to think, maybe I can go on and live my life now that this person is dead. I'm sorry that they're dead, but maybe I could just do something else. I don't know. What is it that creates so much polarization, I guess? Maybe it's not everyone. Maybe that's just me that thinks that way.
Well, First of all, it is my favorite of Shakespeare's plays, so I'm kind of biased here. But probably the fact that it's like, you watch any, children's TV show, they usually do a Romeo and Juliet episode. You've seen West Side Story, or...
I want to go to America.
Neither have I just know that's but you have, that one Pokemon episode, that one DuckTales episode. Anyway...
it's just so thematically famous.
Yeah.
It's an archetype.
Yeah.
Certainly.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are just sick of it in that they've seen some sort of parody of it. And there have been so many movies of it, too.
It's like I've heard it once before.
Yeah. And they know, kind of the basic story. And even if they don't know necessarily the ending because all they've seen is in a children's show where they actually get together at the end.
Right.
Instead of, killing each other at the end.
Yeah.
Then they still are kind of... I think it's probably the fact that they think it's too... too easy, I guess, in that sense. But I think a lot of them just don't know the original ending of the play, which makes it kind of like... It's kind of like a hopeless sentiment for love.
Yeah.
Like perfect love can never happen kind of thing. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of the fact that it's overplayed and people don't really know what all is involved in it.
I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself that Romeo and Juliet, to me, as characters, they embody a kind of... it's a romance, literally, so it's a romantic unrealism, and that is now, these days, back in these days, I would say that we don't often, and maybe every now and then, but we don't often see examples of the kind of dedication and passion that the play Romeo and Juliet embody, to the point of killing themselves and not ever having true love. I think that's one way to interpret Romeo and Juliet. I think another way is to say they did have true love, and when they thought they couldn't have it, they thought that they were done, and that was it.
True.
And so I think that a lot of people, maybe, such as myself, view Romeo and Juliet as being unrelatable in the sense that it's not... What you see there is a romantic ideal. It's like this lofty vision of what feelings, what romance, what love could be, or should be, maybe. But for a lot of people, maybe isn't.
And to jump off of what you're saying, I think too, it's almost seen as silly as well. Not only is it unattainable, but silly in that if I were to make the same exact story, identical, but tell you that Romeo and Juliet were 25 and 24, as opposed to 13 and 17 or 16, I think that would change a lot of people's opinions about it, too. It's like, they were teenagers, what are they doing? They got super dramatic and killed themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, in a sense, also, it's seen as silly. Unrealistic and silly. And then what Logan's saying, it's viewed so much that by the time you watch the real thing, it's like, I've seen it before, I don't believe it, and it's dumb.
How do you take it seriously?
Right. Which, in the time in which it was written, 13, 16, probably wasn't that crazy. But now it's like, well, you're barely out of middle school, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Which then, to progress, I suppose, in bettering these characters, do we change their age? Is that the first route we take? Do we change the type of love they have? Do we change what their desires are? Perhaps to harken back to the game, they don't lust for each other, but something that each other has, that the other needs. Where do we move to make the story, I suppose, similar, but new and refreshing?
I'm just in this for your Netflix password.
Yep.
Other than being really bad at communicating, what do we know really about each of them individually?
Romeo likes to kill people.
I thought he didn't like to kill people, but he felt honor-bound to do so.
No. He doesn't. He literally...
No.
No. Tybalt challenges him, and Romeo basically is like, no, I'm, implying I am now part of your family, I will not hurt you. And then Mercutio's like, then I'll fight for you. And then once Tybalt kills Mercutio, Romeo literally has no two thoughts about killing Tybalt. So it's like, really?
Well, it was like an honor thing back then, right? Like,
Yeah.
you killed like my best friend. Like, I'm probably gonna lash out
but
in
then
some way.
He murks Count Paris for sitting outside the tomb and grieving for Juliet.
Oh, that's
and he walks up on the tomb, and Count Paris is like, I don't know who you are, but you're not coming into the tomb. And Romeo's like, and kills him. And then goes into the tomb. And then my favorite part is at the end of the play, no one accounts for Count Paris.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
There's like, Romeo and Juliet are dead.
They're
Let's
mourning
make
for
friends. And no one cares that there's a dead guy outside of the tomb. So,
The gravekeeper is just like sweeping nearby.
one more.
One more.
Just sweeps him into an open grave.
And Juliet, I mean,
She was confused for the
very
entire play.
confused.
She didn't know what to make up her mind. She didn't know how to make up her mind.
What if instead of making them like in their 20s, what if we made them like in their 50s? How does that change it?
Ooh.
And their children don't like each
Their
other.
children hate each other. Like, yeah, that's where I was going with that.
It's like Meet the Fockers or something.
Sort of.
The Fockers?
I don't want to say Meet the Fockers. That's interesting. So it's like two single parents and their kids hate each other.
Right.
How old are the kids? Are they adult age, or are they like teenagers? Like who? Like one's a bully and
Maybe-
one's like a nerd.
How about we make them grandparents and like the parents and the kids
I like it.
hate each other. So then you have at least like, let's say they each have what, like one has 2 kids, one has 3 kids. Each of those kids with their spouse has like 2 or 3. You got significant groups hating each other.
But what if we had another extra layer of contention there? That not only do their families really dislike each other, but they've both. If we want to go with it, it's like modern day. If we want to do that, then we could put them both in nursing homes, and they're not allowed to be together.
Oh, that would make me cry.
They're in rival nursing homes. And they battle each other like every month for like a bowling league or something.
I was thinking
A bingo league.
the same nursing home, but like alternate wings. So similar, but like technically the same location.
So, why is that so much cuter? I love that so much.
And there's a balcony scene, but instead it's just like the wheelchair elevator that they have to go up.
Oh my god, I would literally start tearing up. That's so cute.
Yes, please.
Oh, it's broken again.
Oh my
Something's
gosh.
stuck in there.
Well, so if they're in nursing homes,
Right. If we want to make it modern day.
In one nursing home or in like...
I was thinking like separate wings. Like there's like a male wing and a female wing, and they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, you got to keep them separated. You know?
Right.
You don't know
You
what
can't
they're
make intimate contact between old people.
Actually,
Ew.
I have heard that in nursing homes that's like a...
Oh, really?
there's a lot of banging going on.
Yeah. Tyler's like,
Hey, you know,
Oh no.
don't stop till you drop.
I mean, you're just there, just
Hanging
waiting.
out.
I mean,
Spending good times.
Playing Parcheesi.
Or
Cheesy's fun, dude.
We should play Parcheesi sometime.
We should.
I've never
we should
played
play
Parcheesi.
Ultimate Parcheesi. It's like
Ultimate Parcheesi.
Anyway, it's basically sorry. Anyway,
But if it's in a nursing home, then who's
The new
warring with
Verona
each other?
well, the family still could be.
yeah.
I'm saying it's an additional thing that like the nursing home is saying that they can't be together as well. So the family, and maybe like the reason that the families hate each other is because they want to be together and they just won't obey the rules of the nursing home, and then like they blame the other family for their own family members' actions. Like Romeo, the old Romeo keeps like sneaking over into the female wing, and Romeo's family somehow blames like Juliet's family for
Interesting.
that and stuff.
What if one of their children, so one of their adult children, like runs the nursing home?
Ooh, or Tybalt. Tybalt's character runs the nursing home.
Mercutio runs the nursing home.
They,
No, all Tybalt,
Well-
Mercutio, they're all other people in the nursing
yeah, there are
home.
other people
Or if you
in the
make
nursing home.
Tybalt Mercutio
Can you imagine
like-
the duels though, like in wheelchairs?
awesome. What
They
if
push each other off the ramp.
so
Oh my God.
their families maybe run parts of the nursing home.
What if...
So, like, one of them is the more, like, business-oriented side, and one is the more, like, caretaking side, and that's why they're related in the same area, but not necessarily working together. And then Mercutio and Tybalt are members of that team. Mm-hmm. So, like, one of them's a finance person, one of them's a nurse, and then Romeo assaults a nurse and gets sent to another nursing home.
Hey there.
Not sexually assaults a nurse.
I was like, whoa.
Like, Tybalt stops him from going to see Juliet, and he's like, no, and then rams his walker right into his shin, and then they send him to another nursing home.
Yeah?
Is it too similar, though?
To Romeo and Juliet?
Like, to the point where someone would watch it and be like, oh, this is just a spin on Romeo and Juliet.
I think so far, that's okay. I think let's keep going with this.
We have to have elements,
and
right?
then add some tweaks to make it a little bit more distinguished. Mm-hmm. So are they still Romeo and Juliet? Are those their names? Because then we're like, it's literally just Romeo and Juliet. Or is it, do they have different names? And Tybalt? Tybalt isn't a particularly modernized name whatsoever.
Maybe we pronounce it Tybalt.
His last name is Tybalt.
His middle name is Tybalt. Or like it's Tybaltson.
Or it's
Tybaltson.
Tybalt.
Tybaltson.
Like,
oh my gosh.
Balt.
No, that's just, oh gosh.
Mercutio.
It's Mark.
No, it's
Ushio.
Mercutio.
He's Japanese.
I love it.
Because Ushio means, I think it means ocean.
Mark, Ushio, and Tybalt.
Oh my gosh.
And then the Capulets is the name of the pharmaceutical company.
That's the pills they take.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
And Montague is the mental affliction that Romeo has.
Oh, no.
Oh, I was thinking more like, it's like...
Or that's the finance company.
Oh, okay.
Or like like the nursing home, like, this is like one of the nursing home's locations. It's like...
Oh, the Montague wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know, maybe...
Count Paris. Paris is like the name of the cafeteria.
Paris is, what do you call a dude that's really into older women?
A cleaver chaser?
Sure. He's like a 30-year-old that is chasing after Juliet, or whatever we name them. That's just real awkward.
Maybe.
And then that's why nobody cares that he's dead.
Maybe it's Romero and Jules.
Romero and Jules.
Maybe the nursing home is also part of a psych ward, and that's where Paris comes from.
Ooh.
Slash Mercutio, because he's also kind of crazy. He was my favorite character, by the way.
Tybalt was mine because... Ty. Because I'm self-centered and shallow, and I hate myself.
And I found my name! Okay,
So are they still Romeo and Juliet? Are they Romero and Jules? Are they...
Romanton and Julenton.
What?
I don't know.
Are they Raoul and Julio?
Oh, they're both male now.
Sure.
Julia.
fine, I guess.
Juliana.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we should come back to names because I feel like that's not as important right now as the main.
I mean, I think it's important, but it's fine. It's fine.
I'm Patrick Warburton. That's both their names.
So
Maybe they just affectionately call each other R and J.
Maybe it starts with R and J, or their names start with R and J, and you don't realize that it's a Romeo and Juliet thing until you see their letters carved.
I mean, you might be able to figure it out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Considering there's a Mark Ushio and a Tybalt and a Ben
Oh, that's
Folio.
so wonderful, though.
You could even have it be Marcus Ushio and Tyler Balt, and it would be like
That's
and
wonderful.
or Benjamin Volio.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah.
And it would be pretty easy to have a nurse, right? In a nursing home.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
But it's like this crazy younger woman instead of being like a crazy older woman.
Yeah. So is Juliet's character still like largely confused? Because if so, we could then scientifically rationalize that with
She has Montague.
No. with like dementia or Alzheimer's. And she could think
And
that
maybe that's why she thinks that Romeo's dead.
I was about to say that.
I mean, we don't want to travel too far into like the Notebook territory.
Is that? I've never seen it.
Notebook?
Yeah.
I've seen snippets of it, but I know that the girl has like amnesia, or she can't remember her spouse.
I mean, I've seen
And so
like,
he always has to tell the story of how they fell in love.
See, I think I think it would be more like she doesn't appear from Romeo's perspective. Juliet doesn't have Alzheimer's. He doesn't maybe even know that she has Alzheimer's until the very end when she thinks that he's dead.
Or she has a stroke, goes into a coma.
Oh.
He is like, he's in another nursing home because he assaulted Tyler Balt.
Yep.
And he just like whacked him with a cane. And like, and
Yeah,
then,
should that kill him? Or should that just kind of incapacitate
It trips him, makes him fall down some stairs.
oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Like a series of unfortunate
Like
events.
court
way of
order,
dying.
he has to go to a different.
Yeah, he doesn't
nursing home.
necessarily realize like how much damage he's doing.
Right, exactly.
Oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, and then he finds out, and he goes back to the nursing home, like wheels into her room, like sneaks in, wheels into her room and sees that she's in a coma, and he like, I don't know, I don't want him to like kill himself. That's awful. Like maybe he realizes that, well, this is like it then becomes a tragedy in the sense that he realizes this is the way the world works. Like, I was never meant to find love, and he goes back to their nursing home. She wakes up from the coma a couple of years after he's passed at the other nursing home.
Oh goodness.
Oh god.
Yeah, and then she finds out because she's inquiring about him where he is, and then it just like maybe ends with her like, you know, maybe it ends where like it does a fade out and she's like crying and depressed, and then the final snap of the film or whatever is like their tombstones are like looking at each other in the graveyard or something, or they're right across from each other.
It shows them like in a split screen, kind of looking like it, but then it kind of zooms out to show that they're not in the same graveyard at all.
Ooh, that would wreck me emotionally.
Yes, 100% yes to that, because I like getting my feelings destroyed.
See,
It's a good feeling. It's a cleansing feeling.
I was kind of thinking, like, kind of taking it a dark way path. Wow. That if, like, what if, like, one of them died of just a broken heart, or just, like, lost the will to live?
I was thinking kind of along those lines of, like, after Juliet discovers that Romeo has passed away, that we don't actually see her die, but we just like see like maybe a long like time lapse or
It
something.
does the
where
Walking
she's
Dead
just
thing.
like,
Looks over at the flowers that he left for her, and it just like wilts.
well, I was thinking it would keep on her and how she like doesn't move from her chair anymore, and she just stays there.
Or see, what if we do it like kind of Fault in Our Stars style, where one of them has like a debilitating disease, but since they've met this other person, like that disease has like kept them going.
You could do
Like-
that.
Like, you really shouldn't be this active with this disease, with Montague. Sorry, I'm pushing that.
I think though, like the lack of a disease and the presence of just old age makes it more
Okay, that's
like
true.
relatable. Because
I
that's one of the
agree.
things we were saying is like it's not relatable enough, you know. And everyone's afraid of dying alone.
True.
So, well, I mean, maybe not everyone. I don't know.
Well, it's a common fear.
Yeah. So
Of
they would
loneliness.
play on that fear of, wow, this could be me, you know. So I'm an advocate for just them being old.
Yeah, and kind of putting diseases there is kind of overplayed too.
True. And it's like adding like, you know, kerosene to an already burning fire. Like it's already like, oh, this is pretty sad, and then you're like, oh yeah, they're also dying of this thing, and they can't move, and they're on oxygen. You know what I mean? Like,
And their families never come to visit them.
yeah, but only to fight with each other.
That's it.
That's all they care about.
And their
So-
son died in a fishing accident, and yeah,
So
Just add a lot of
how do their deaths bring their families together? Or do they? Or maybe that's more realistic, that it doesn't.
maybe we don't know.
Or that. We just don't know what happens with them.
Or it, like the thing that you were saying, Logan, where it does the crazy split screen thing. It shows the two families like dropping off flowers, but then as it zooms out, they're in separate graveyards.
Oh, so it looks like maybe they're
They've come
like
together.
together,
Yeah.
and then it's
It does the montage effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just splits between both of them, but then it kind of zooms out.
Yep.
Ooh,
then they're not together.
Yep.
yeah. That
makes
could
it look
be
like
done
that.
cinematically. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
that could be good. Mm-hmm. It's artsy.
Yeah.
It's artsy.
This is another artsy episode. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So
I mean, it's supposed to be a tragedy.
True.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like super funny. I think though, our beating Tybalt over the head with a cane would be pretty freaking hilarious.
Dude.
I mean, Romeo and Juliet did have some comedy aspects of it. I mean, every Shakespeare
sure.
tragedy did.
Yeah, and I think maybe like having it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wheelchair
man.
elevator.
The pace throughout where R is like constantly kind of bashing on Tyler, like
Appropriate.
tripping him or like
Yep.
knocking into him or stuff.
I'm in favor.
Oh,
and then when he reacts out of anger, he just like Tyler thinks it's just another like him just messing around, but he like reacts out of anger and then accidentally pushes it too far and he falls down the stairs. Or
I want Tyler to be like that really overexcited like camp counselor type person who's like, okay guys, let's go down to the cafeteria.
Are you ready for your arts and crafts station?
oh my
All right,
gosh.
now no attitude like that. Come
And
on,
then
have a great.
can Mark Ushio be like the stereotypical
He's
Like
like
an orderly.
300 pound, but not because he's fat, but because it's all solid muscle.
yeah.
And he could just pick R up with wheelchair and all and send it back into his room.
and he like hardly says anything. That
He
would
just
be
kind of nods.
that would be a very big switch from the play because he was like kind of the fool jester character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is why he was my favorite character. But I mean, he was the bard, man.
So sorry.
And it becomes revealed that he has a secret passion for ukulele music.
He's also an anime voice actor.
Sure.
Sure.
No, he's also a game show host.
There we
but
go.
we don't know about it.
Yeah, that's just headcanon.
And like R like kind of like somehow walks in on it or somehow learns about it and then
Get out,
but he
get out of my room.
but he doesn't know if he's like dreaming or not.
Yeah, if he's taken too many
Capulets.
pills or Capulets.
Capulet.
Yeah, puns today.
Yeah. Okay, so but then where does that leave Friar Lawrence? 'Cause Friar Lawrence is the one that marries them.
A lot of like hospitals and nursing homes and etc.
Like a
have
chaplain.
chaplains.
I mean, that's true.
So it's that actually would make a lot of sense that you would have like some sort of priest-like character, often perform more like last rites rituals and stuff like that. Maybe like
Do
that
we need
sort
a
of
Friar
thing.
Lawrence? Because in the
Do they
play,
get married?
they're so young that that's why they go to Friar Lawrence to get them married, and then they go to him when we don't know what to do.
I
Or
feel
when
like-
Juliet doesn't know what to do.
They should have like confidants. I feel
Okay,
like they should
yeah.
have like friends who are their age or maybe someone they can trust
I
at
think
least.
it would be good to have a friar, maybe kind of
mean,
young-ish,
Maybe
like
someone who like looks like a friar.
that. Okay, that would be funny. That's like both of their best friend is this person that looks like a friar, but they don't realize that they share this best friend. And that-
Rom-com
funny.
style.
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Or, well, Friar Lawrence in the play, in a sense, kind of.
And he's trying to set them
weirdly-
up, kind of.
He transcends, like he lives in Verona, but he transcends this rivalry.
Right.
Maybe he's like this Buddhist monk, or maybe he's like this kind of spiritual person.
I mean, maybe he could be a volunteer from the local like college that wants to work with old people, and so he comes by and
He's a
hangs out.
hipster.
And he's like a 23-year-old guy, and just
That dude.
or a 23-year-old girl even.
What if he's an intern like counselor,
Florencia.
or like an intern like psych major trying to get their hours in, but they genuinely care about the people there.
That'd be
Is he
interesting.
the one who gives our poison? It's just like weed.
Well,
We
Romeo.
changed that slightly,
Yeah,
right?
and Romeo picks up the poison in the play on his way over to Verona. He's like, I'm just going to grab this from the apothecary real quick, pop into my local drugstore. Hey, you got that poison? Sure, man.
Why did
Write
he
you a
get the
prescription.
poison? Is that just in case he found out Juliet was dead?
Clearly it's premeditated.
Like, it was
I
meant to
don't know.
kill himself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the dude was thinking.
I like how he changed it to he thinks that she's dead, goes away and dies
Naturally.
of like natural causes,
Yeah.
and then she wakes up and withers basically, and then split screen sadness after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Good times.
Friar Lawrence,
Yeah.
or Laurie, or whatever we want to call him or her,
Hell.
wouldn't it? I think it'd be interesting if the play was told through her eyes.
I like that.
Maybe his name is like Lawrence Fry. Fryson. Frighten. Ooh, that sounds creepy.
Frightened Lawrence.
Oh, I gotta keep that name. Ooh, that'd be a good horror name.
Frightened.
Frighten.
Laurie Frey.
Yeah.
I like that idea though of having the main perspective be that character's.
Because then
Oh, I
she,
see. Yeah.
as an like the friar, as an outside existing body, doesn't care that the she sees the families fighting in the business, but doesn't care.
Yeah, it's not her.
Right,
thing.
and then she knows that R is interested in Jay, and that they're like together, and they're kind of coming through by their interaction with her.
Yep.
Right, and then what would be nice is that, like, then if it's told from her perspective, you don't necessarily have to see everything that happens. Like, we don't have to see R accidentally kill Tyler. She comes in one day and there's police and, like, what's
Right.
happening. Yeah.
Oh, and R is the main suspect. Okay.
And the court order sends him to a different location.
And because she's not hired by the nursing home, she can go to the other one that R gets moved to and still act as that third party.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Except that, like, during that time, like, they have no communication for the most part. Except for that one guy who couldn't tell his hand from his
I mean,
face.
we don't really need to keep up with Romeo in the other nursing home that much.
Very true.
So,
Yeah.
And then the ending, right? The ending where it does the crazy split screen thing. Like, we could keep it super depressing.
Right.
And it's like the families don't ever come together.
Awesome.
Or
And then we zoom out, and it's this girl, like, writing some, like, really, like, pretentious story.
Or we see the girl and she's like, she's holding onto a picture of, like, her arms around the two of them. And, like, she's the one that, like, can,
Killed them.
like...
No. There's the
Well,
twist.
she's the murderer. She slipped them too much Ambien.
Slip them too much Capulets. Yeah.
Yeah, then it becomes, it wasn't the family that was important. It was the relationships that they had with her and together.
Oh, I see. They saw her as a family.
Yep. And that would be the end of the credits scene.
Maybe we see, like, during her graduation or something, we see her, like, pull out, like, a picture of them.
or like writing up her senior project on this sort of thing.
Oh, dude, you need some serious
That kind of
counseling for
ties
your
in what you
senior
were talking
project.
about of somebody writing the story.
If we make this like working at this nursing home, like her capstone project or
right,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
She doesn't realize what she's getting into.
Yeah.
He's writing Romeo and Juliet
Oh gosh.
per se.
Yeah. And then it wouldn't immediately be apparent this is Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
It's like a quirky, like...
Because it's told from someone else's perspective.
Exactly.
If we don't change the names, it might be a wee bit obvious.
Tyler
But-
Balt, Mark Uscio.
See, those I think are Tyler Balt's maybe a little bit still too. Maybe Tyler Cobalt. Maybe that would be enough of a change or something like that. So I'd just change it a little more to make it not
Maybe
quite as obvious.
just make him Mark, Tyler, and Ben.
yeah, just no, why have last names?
Yeah.
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 Then it's not obvious at all.
I mean,
So
they wouldn't. The people there wouldn't care about their last names.
I mean, not likely. Yeah.
Probably not.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't.
So I have one question. That's kind of important.
Okay.
How should R and J meet?
Like initially?
Yeah,
Because it
was at like a masquerade ball, a masquerade party. Should they meet at
Bingo
like
night.
a what?
Bingo night.
Like they tie, they
Yeah.
both win at the same time, and they go up to accept the prize, and there's like
They meet eyes across the table
Yeah.
while getting their raffle prize.
I think it should be something that Fry organizes.
Bingo night.
She organizes bingo night?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
She runs bingo night.
Or what if it's like some other like obscure game that like she likes, but like all the people there are kind of like, oh, this is too complicated for me. I don't
Like
really know
Exploding
this.
Kittens?
Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons.
Mass Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my
It's like 50 people playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh gosh.
That'd be a terrible campaign to
I'm
run.
trying to imagine that, yeah.
Okay, all of you roll for initiative.
Okay.
No, but they're all set up in different parties doing different things that are all interrelated across this huge world. Oh god.
That gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
DMs would have to
As-
meet like afterwards and like go over for hours and hours what they did.
As the DM of our group, that gives me anxiety.
But what if it's like some complicated like I don't know. What's a big like game you
Catan.
can play with
Yeah, what can you play
with a lot of people? Maybe
Heads
it's
up,
like
7-Up.
charades or something, or like I don't know.
There's a lot of people.
Maybe it's like some sort of drinking game that she tries to get people to play
True American.
with,
Or we put
with like
this
orange juice.
put this set, say, 50 years in the future, and it's video gaming night. It's our generation.
It's Street Fighter.
It's Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Or Mario
Yes.
Kart. Huh. I don't know, man.
And one's Mario and one's Peach, but
Aw.
like
I mean-
R is Peach and J is
Yeah.
A game that you can play with a lot of people. You can play Fortnite. 100 people.
Battle Royale. They're just left till the end.
They're playing Sea of
The
Thieves.
last
They're
two
opposite
is
ships.
Romeo and Juliet.
They're playing World of Warcraft. One's in the Horde. One's the other one.
Oh, man.
It's like Romeo and Juliet within Romeo and Juliet.
Well, that's a popular like Shakespeare trope. Is like a play within a play.
Right.
It's like a movie within a movie.
I'd be fine with them all having World of Warcraft night. Just saying.
Like there's some game that they put on.
MMO night. Unnamed, like, video game. MMO thing.
Land of dragons and
Dawn
elves.
01 Wild Breath.
Update 6.2.
Yeah, there we go. It's Minecraft.
Make sure
it's,
you
it's
update.
Minecraft tonight.
How do I update? It's Minecraft night. Yes, please, can we do that?
Yep,
Please.
I am so on board.
And RNJ win like the torches, like the electric torches. You can get. Like one's a redstone torch and one's like a regular torch. Yep. Oh my goodness, I love this now. They meet over Minecraft.
It's like the nerdy nursing home. Nerdy nursing home. Name of
Might
the
be
movie.
a tiny bit silly, but it would definitely make it connect more to our generation.
Yeah, and they're like kind of against it. They kind of like, oh, I don't like this over bingo night. I mean, like,
Well,
how can
Laurie
you
puts
beat
it
bingo?
on. So it's like Laurie's thing that they all
Yeah.
kind of have to do because
Yeah.
it's like required or something. That they like have to be in that room during that time or whatever.
Yeah, or
What
she like
else?
puts the post-it up and she's like,
It's like,
people
come on, it'll be
by.
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
It's totally not a social experiment for my paper.
We're going to play fake electrocute the person across the hall.
No, Riley.
Whoa.
We're not doing those experiments.
Oh, I see. Where
Milgram study.
half of you are going to be guards, half of you are going to be prisoners.
That's the
Stanford prison.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. That kind of already exists in nursing homes.
I know.
Just
too real.
Oof.
Hashtag bugging out.
This is
too real.
This is a nice nursing home.
With just, the nurses.
People
are fighting
like
each
being
other.
there.
Mark and
Yeah.
Tyler are actually best friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just kind of put on these character acts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
More
be
for the
interesting.
entertainment of the guests.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting to have like Laurie like listen in on a conversation between Tyler and Mark. Then
Yeah. Ooh, perspective.
We're
Lori would be
further
interesting.
obscuring that this is a Romeo and Juliet thing.
yeah,
Yes.
We still haven't decided what their names are. Just saying.
that is true.
We eventually have to come back to that.
So, but before we do that, we've hit how they meet.
Mm-hmm.
We've hit kind of who Laurie is, like where that character comes
Perspective
in.
is told through her.
Mm-hmm. We've hit where like the other characters kind of come in, how they die, how they get sent away, the main plot points of the play. Is there anything we're missing?
Yes, we are missing the fact that Laurie brings in dogs for puppy play therapy for the nursing home resident. I would just like to have that, please.
I feel like that would be kind of beyond Laurie's capabilities. But
Okay, so
maybe
the
she,
nursing home
She
does
like
that.
convinces the nursing home
Yeah,
to do that.
have
Yeah.
someone do that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because I feel like she isn't given too much power.
I just
except
want
for
a scene
the failed Minecraft night.
Where a dog like gets loose from Romeo and goes to Juliet's room, and then they like have a moment, and it's cute with a dog. That sounds nice. And the dog
Okay.
dies at the end, and it's a third gravestone.
Oh my gosh.
Just a random dog.
It's like a bone shaped the gravestone to
No.
show that it's a dog.
That's the true tragedy here.
Yeah.
The dog's name is William, as in William Shakespeare.
William
Yeah.
Shakespeare. Bill.
No, the dog's name is Paris.
Nobody.
That is Count Paris.
Paris, come here.
Where's Paris?
Juliet adopts Paris, but then Paris dies.
Oh my gosh. Paris is an old dog.
Yeah.
So like they connect them.
Yep.
It's
age-wise.
foreshadowing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Me too.
Boy. So I should ask, like, should this be like a movie? Should we keep it as a play? Should it be like a TV series?
In my head, it makes sense. Most is a TV series.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it'd be more impactful as a movie.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like a contained
Yeah.
story.
It would if it were a TV series, it would definitely be like a Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones cinematic style.
Oh, yeah,
TV
yeah, for
series.
sure.
Or like
Where like you
or
can't
like Sherlock.
Yeah.
Where it's like the story is told in
Right.
4 episodes. They're like 2 hours long.
Netflix original.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then the end of season 1 is the end of the story.
Right.
You know?
But then you couldn't get another season. Unless she goes to another nursing home where The Tempest is happening.
It's just contained in a universe.
That would actually be really cool.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, where every nursing home she goes to is just another Shakespeare story happening. I like that.
In a way, but also, didn't like the most recent Mummy adaptation try to set up its own like the dark universe or whatever with the Mummy and
with like
Jekyll and Hyde
Frankenstein
and Frankenstein
Really?
and stuff? Yeah,
the Dooku, right? That's what
Russell
Daniel was
Crowe
talking about.
is Dr. Jekyll.
Okay, cool. Because like the dark something,
It's like the dark
unknown
cinematic universe or something like that. Yeah.
With like wasn't like
I don't
King
know if we
Kong,
want to go down
Godzilla
that
were in
route.
that too.
That route
or,
works when it works and doesn't work most of the time.
I don't know.
So
It's
Yeah,
we're just
Justice
putting
League
out.
Dark is pretty cool.
that's cool.
Was that the one that Constantine's part of?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Or magic is a thing.
And Dead Man.
And like wasn't Zatanna? In that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Magic.
All the magic guys. And Constantine is
Dr.
just
Fate.
drunk.
I mean
Dr.
that's his
Fate?
character.
Yeah.
He's a drunk exorcist.
He was Irish.
Yes.
Can we have him in this?
He just shows up.
He just shows up.
Make a cameo during Minecraft night.
He's like the director of the nursing home's like cousin. Just shows up one day in the background.
He's the director of the nursing home, but we don't see him.
yeah, ever.
Like
He's only made reference to
You
it.
just hear
Yeah.
Mr.
It's a
Constantine
lot of Easter eggs, yeah. Gosh.
or Dr. Constantine.
Dr. John.
Dr.
We
John.
just know him as John. Anyway,
I don't know. For their names, I kind of just like R and J.
Ray and Jay.
I was thinking Ray or Raymond.
Ray and
Make them really generic
June?
old people name. June.
Ray and June.
I like June.
Ray and June. That's good.
Ray and June.
Ray and June is good. Do we want to pause for a second and repeat that and just cut that out? Because that is obnoxious.
What the shaking? I don't know if it picked up. So
I mean, if I can hear it, it can hear it.
here it is again. If we're Ray and June,
Ray and
you're
June.
caught up.
Yeah, Ray and June. That's good. If you leave that in, we're going to sound like idiots. Accurate.
We're just repeating my acknowledgement of your statement.
Sweet. So
I like that.
So and then the play, like, is the movie or the TV series, whatever we decide, is it just Ray and June? Is that what it's called, or is it?
What's the name of the nursing home? Like Montague nursing home?
Well, it's in Verona, in
Italy?
Yeah.
I mean, what month does this take place in? June? Then it could be Ray in June.
Ray in June? That's another
implying a lot of things.
That's another important question I wanted to ask.
Oh, because I said they may or may not have sex.
Mm-hmm. Do they?
I don't think Laurie cares to know.
We don't know if they do. Kind of like in the play.
Laurie might accidentally find some Viagra and Ray's like,
But that doesn't prove anything.
no, it doesn't.
Some Viagra Capulets.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Like, he kind of like
Dang
just
it, Laurie,
spills
I
them.
love that joke. I don't know why.
He just kind of spills them, and she's like,
Oh dear.
Yeah, and he like,
No, he's trying to. I just remember seeing this one skit online of like someone trying to pull out their wallet from their pocket and then just pulling out like hundreds of condoms and stuff that just spill on the
like
floor.
the magic trick where you open the thing and the snakes
Yeah.
just shoot out.
Yeah.
It's like an ungodly amount of Viagra just sprays out of this like one little Capulet canister. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Ray and June, that are good names, but I don't know
Yeah.
what we should call it. Not Ray and June. That was a poor taste
Senior
joke.
capstone project. Or Psych 445 capstone project. Mr. Williams. Final psych. Psych in the industry. Psych in the business workplace.
oh my gosh.
Insert state university.
Are
What
you
if we
trying to
just
do an
call it,
APA?
like-
Yeah, I'm trying to do her MLA heading as the title.
What if we don't do that? And we do something the opposite of that and something just super simple like with June.
In June?
No, with June.
In June?
Nope.
No.
Because that's an Owl City album title.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I'm trying to call it that.
Or,
I don't know.
I like with the June.
What if we let our listeners decide?
Maybe
What we always do.
Summer
Love it.
rays of sunshine in June.
Ugh.
Terrible. It's an awful name.
May and December.
What?
Because that's what you call like an old person's younger person relationship. Is May and December.
I'm glad. Man, it's cheesy when a name isn't a title.
Yeah.
Like, you see a movie with a name and it's like,
What are we? Some
Sounds
sort of
really-
Suicide Squad?
yeah. Or, well, not like the name of the thing, but like a person's name. It
Yeah.
sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe like,
Minecraft Night. That's the name of the movie.
What happened after Minecraft Night? It all started on Minecraft Night. It was a dark and stormy Minecraft night.
Our Time Together.
Yeah,
Just-
something like that.
Oh, okay. Something kind of generic.
I mean, it's
Something that would be the name of a paper.
Oh, perhaps.
Reflections on the Dying.
Sounds like a documentary.
Dying to be together.
That's
Dying to know each other.
cliche enough to maybe be good.
With a winky face emoji. Because, you know, emojis are probably going to be in titles. And this is like a hipster university student who's like, hey, I'm doing something different.
That's tough.
What if, since it's centered around Laurie, what if one of Laurie's first things that she does is getting the puppy therapy thing set up? So it almost looks like the story is going to be about the dog. And then it could be just called, like, Paris or Summer with Paris or something like that. So it's like kind of a faux title. It's a misleading title, like to try to like make you think that it's about something that it's not really about.
Yeah, I like having it be a misleading title.
Right.
But like,
Puppy love.
ugh. Ugh. Old Souls.
Old Souls, Young Hearts.
Coming soon to
A Hallmark Channel near you.
Old Hearts. Young Souls. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls 4 remastered.
Remastered.
Yeah.
Just before it, that's just the first version they release of Dark Souls 4. Dark Souls 4 Remastered. I feel like we're getting hung up too much on the title.
Maybe we should leave it up to our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can think of
We've
an awesome title.
given you a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of quality brainstorming.
Montague. The Montague Complex. Montague Oaks.
That's not bad. I like the Montague complex.
Oh, because it's kind of like, is it a mental complex?
Exactly.
Mm.
The duality of meaning there.
Maybe
I like
the Montague Complex is simply,
Or a Summer in
Love.
Verona, but Verona is the name of the retirement home.
and Verona is the name of the
That would
really
be good.
horny lady.
What?
What?
That, like, you know, like apparently people in nursing homes are kind of, you know, like I've said
Normal people?
before. Okay.
I am stressed out.
Maybe
I like
Ver-
Summer in Verona with Verona being the name of the nursing home. That was good.
Maybe Verona is like the name of the park in the nursing home. Or
That would
something
also
like
be
that.
good. That's like
Or
the
like one
place.
part of, or like maybe it's the room that Minecraft Night is in.
The Verona room.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Something like that. Summer
And
in
like
Verona.
all the rooms are named after like Shakespeare places.
Or we can like do a
What is
allusion
that?
to the end and be like sunsets in Verona.
Ooh. Okay.
Or
I like that.
Be,
I like that.
be commanding and say the sun sets in Verona, and that's the title.
I like that even more.
That's it. That's it.
That-
right there.
that
We
sounds-
finally got to it.
That sounds like Oscar winner title.
We finally got to it.
Yeah,
The
there we
sunsets
go.
in Verona.
Did you like listening to us debate over the name for like 20 minutes?
Oh man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sure, welcome. I mean,
You listen to this podcast, you played yourself.
at least
April Fools.
a little late.
A little late.
But sweet. I mean, does anyone have anything left that we missed, that we might add, that we forgot? I think it's awesome.
The
I think I
sunsets
like
in
it.
Verona.
Yeah.
Sunsets in Verona.
The sunset's over Verona? No, I like it. I like it.
In
Okay.
Verona, because then a lot of the scenes can be shot in the Verona room, and it's sunset.
Or maybe it
Implying.
could be like kind of office style where it's kind of like through a window.
Like, I mean, like the main meeting time for Ray and June could be after dinner, right when the sun is setting, and that could be like their free time that they meet up. in the Verona room.
I'm crying thinking about it. It's hurting my heart. Oh my gosh. Okay, brilliant. I'm happy.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
I'd like to mention the Romeo and Juliet anime because I would be very mad at myself if I didn't in this episode.
What?
And that's all.
Wait, no, actually, one question about that for you. Pick one element of that and transfer it into this project.
Romeo has a Pegasus as a pet.
What if it's like a little like ceramic Pegasus as like a throwback to?
Okay, what
to
if it's in a flying city?
Relatability's gone.
Okay, he likes Pegasi. Okay, he likes Greek mythology.
He's a brony. Just kidding.
Relatability's still gone.
What was that last suggestion?
What?
What was that last suggestion?
He likes Greek mythology.
Oh, I like that.
Okay,
Perfect.
sure.
Yeah.
Favorite character's Pegasus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, his name is Cielo in the anime. And also Juliet is a vigilante in the nursing home.
Ooh, I like that.
She solves disputes.
She's the hall monitor.
But she takes
Just
it like
because she
really
can move
seriously.
marginally faster than everyone else.
The only qualification that you need.
Be the fastest in the nursing home. Before we get more insensitive, I believe Logan has the pit pulled up
I do. I have
to decide
the pit of despair.
The pit.
Did you do a number, Jen, or do you need that?
Nope, I have that up right now, and I'm about to do it. It is
Yeah,
number 48.
Which will be 2 up from the bottom.
Good job, because there are 50 names.
Yep.
It
I can
is another very classic character.
Oh.
Also kind of in the British legacy of literature.
Harry Potter.
Robin Hood.
Oh, cool.
Robin Hood. Awesome.
That's Robin Hood of Nottingham.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh, we're getting on
Sherwood
a
Forest.
string of kind of like classicer characters.
Would that be the Disney version or like the legendary like Robert Hood?
I think that's something that we should talk about when we talk about
Okay, Robin Hood.
Because we might want elements of both.
We've had like British characters the last like few times.
Yeah.
Man.
Not a problem.
No. Well, friends, I think that is it for this episode. Tune in next time for Robin Hood. That'll be an exciting time. I'm excited. I love Robin Hood's one of my favorite Disney movies, by the way. So I might be drawing heavily from that for my suggestions.
Same.
But, yeah, if you can, check out the website, leave us comments or questions or anything like that. Maybe drop a better name if you have one, which you probably do. And then check us out on the Instagrams, the Twitters, the YouTubes,
The Thou-tube.
the Thou-tubes, the V-tubes, and the Facebooks. It'd be really awesome. And you can leave like reviews and comments on our Facebook page. We appreciate that, or on our iTunes page, or really just anywhere, because just want to hear back from you guys in ways we can improve. I know that some of the comments that we have received, which we're responding to, are things about audio quality and stuff, and we've been really trying hard to work on the space in which we record. But as far as the technical equipment, we're actually working on perhaps a campaign or a project sometime soon to get that all solved. So if you could keep an eye out for that coming out soon anyway, to help support and stuff, would be really appreciated, and you guys are awesome. So that's all I got to say. Anything I forgot, guys? Or
Robin Hood, Little John walking
to the forest, trying to get away. Ooh la God, what a day. I love that. Oh God.
He split Robin's arrow in twain.
Anything else, guys?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Go look up some Shakespearean insults. They're pretty good.
Watch the anime.
Do that too.
It's a little slow, but the premise is really interesting.
And eat roasted cabbage, because it tastes nice.
Eat Caesar salad.
Because
Julius Caesar is also a play.
Okay, bye.
This is 21.
Yep.
For
21. Drinking age.
April, what, 9th? Is that right?
Hey Google, what is Monday?
It is the second day of the week.
According to Wikipedia, Monday is the day of the week between Sunday and Tuesday.
Super helpful.
Fuck you.
We're gonna keep that in right now.
I hate myself sometimes.